Hey, hey, yo, it's me, Uncle Ricky. Look, welcome to, I guess you could call this a weekend wrap up because it's Saturday where I am, and hopefully, if it's not Saturday where you are, you'll get there soon, and your Saturday will be just as pleasant and as exciting as I hope mine will turn out to be. But anyway, beyond all the regular BS and niceties, let's talk about what's happening in America today. Well, very little. There's some good things happening, and I wish I could find some, but no, there's good things happening, and a few of them probably are on the local level, actually, where all good things should actually start, because it's hard to promote anything good on the national level, even in our state capitals. It's hard to produce anything good because it's all about the politics. But locally, in my area, there's it's back to school time, and that's a financial crunch. Like Virginia used to have this tax-free day where you could go shop right before school, and everything was tax-free. If it was like children's school clothes, uh, books, pencils, paper pencils, that this type of stuff they need, and it was just a little bit of break for the residents of that state, of that community, to go back and maybe catch a break so the kids could get a start in school. And this was good for people that actually had a little bit of money, but there's a lot of people out there that have no money, and that wasn't going to help them at all. But the state of Virginia claims that they forgot to pass, put up the motion to make this a tax, to make the tax-free day this year legal. It's been happening every other year before, no matter who the governor was, no matter who was in office, no matter who was in the state house, ever since it started. I think it's been going on now for a few years. But they forgot this year. And the people in Virginia on both sides are wondering why, because everybody was waiting for this day. As far as the people that don't have any money, or the people that have to make the decision of, do I go get my kids school clothes or do they eat this week? Um, there are local community actions like I come from a little town called Burkeville. They're having a back to school giveaway where they're giving away basic supplies as long as they last. And this is a total community driven effort where people get together, merchants donate, people, clubs and things. They go out and buy, and they give until they don't have anything left to give. And maybe this is the spirit that America needs to pull us back together, because this isn't a political thing. It's not a religious organization thing. There are religious organizations involved. There are political organizations involved, but it's not about them. It's just about kids getting what they need to go back to school. And I'm just saying that, one, because I want to brag about my, the town where I grew up. I kind of claim Philly as my home, but because that's where I was born, that's where I lived the largest portion of my adult life. But I grew up in a little town called Burkeville, Virginia, and actually I appreciate the difference between the two different situations: rural life versus urban life, southern rural being a black person, northern urban being a black person. It actually, I think it makes me a better person. I know a lot of people think that that's impossible, but I really think that it has made me a more well-rounded person. Okay, I get both sides of the picture. I get the conservative, the moderate side, and I get the what, as they would say, the progressive side. Philadelphia obviously is a progressive type city on the surface, but underneath, people are really moderates, and they kind of hate the way that things are going now, even though that they will not, they still don't believe that, the Republicans in Harrisburg can tell them how to run their city, the democratically dominated city of Philadelphia. And in a way, I agree because Harrisburg is out of touch with what's going on in Philly. And even if they're not out of touch, they just don't. They know what's going on. They just don't want to help because they want to see the Democratic-run city fall flat on its face. It's crazy. And Pennsylvania has a Democratic governor. This is the situation that has occurred, for a long time now. Democratic-run city, Democratic governor, Republican state house, whether it's the General Assembly or the Senate, and the city gets cut off every time every time it's convenient, because this is the way of showing the Democrats that they can't do anything right, and we can show that best by denying them the funds that we give everybody else with no question, especially when they are run by Republican mayors or, Republican-controlled town councils, city councils. And, if you don't have the money that we're giving everybody else to succeed, and we deny you that money, then we know that, with everything else that's going on and all the problems you got, you probably won't succeed. But we won't tell the public that it's because we defunded you on purpose. We will tell the public it's because you are unable to govern. And it's time for a change. I mean, it's like political smoke and mirrors, but on this weekend in this country, political smoke and mirrors is the topic of the day. And I guess all things eventually wind back around to Trump. So let's get Trump out of the way. There has never ever been a display on both sides of so much smoke and mirrors, and finding the smoking gun, and then the smoking gun turns out to be a water pistol with no water in it, and that can't smoke, so if there ain't no smoke, there can't be any fire. Republicans, like with their investigations into Hunter Biden, or the Congressional Oversight Committee, all of their, whistleblower testimony, it's like the Democrats are not even deflating or countermanding the testimony. The witnesses are coming out in open congressional testimony saying that the Republicans are full of shit, or they are conflating the truth. But they keep, just like, WWE, fight ticket promoters, every new whistleblower is going to be the one. Every new piece of evidence is the piece of evidence that's going to bring down the corrupt Biden crime family. And I'm not trying to point fingers, but if you were looking at real evidence and so concerned about corrupt crime families being in the Oval Office, how can you ignore the 45th Gumbo, Dumbo, Jumbo, Orange Painted, Mango, Madman, Dictator Wannabe, your pride and joy, the one that you're going to, no doubt, nominate as the Republican Party presidential candidate for the election in 2024, despite whether he has been convicted or even incarcerated, or is, under numerous criminal litigation processes. No other president in the history of this country has ever been tried criminally, as president or post-president. And I think very few of them probably have ever been in any kind of criminal procedure prior to becoming president, especially as the defendant. But Donald Trump, you got to give him credit for one thing, and I'm not saying that to give him stars, because this guy ain't got no halo, and he definitely don't deserve any class stars because he has no class. Donald Trump has done more to tarnish, to ruin that ideological vision of the President of the United States. And I'm not trying to be misogynistic. I'm just going with what, you know, the semblance is. The President of the United States could be a president. It could be a woman. And I wish that there was a stronger female candidate coming up in the next election. Because speaking as a man, men have screwed this country up enough. Let's give a woman a chance. Women save households every day. Women save businesses every day. Why can't an intelligent woman with enough backbone and integrity, maybe not all wrapped up into her party's agenda, politics, maybe a woman could pull us out of the swirl that we're in, because we're quickly swirling towards the bottom of the drain. And I'm not saying elect a woman just to elect a woman, but elect a woman because she has the skills, she has the experience, she has exhibited the integrity and the honesty that's needed to guide a country. And there's some women out there like that. But back to this thing with Trump being the embodiment of everything non-presidential. Even if he wasn't president, even if he had never been president, there is no reason why an individual should be sitting there in the viewpoint, in the view of the country, in the view of the world, as a former leader of what a lot of people say is the most powerful country in the world, or the country that leads the free world, that sets the tone for the free world. And I guess by default, whoever the president of the free world is, and I'm not being misogynistic, I'm just saying it the way that it, has been said for so many years, the president is the man that leads the free world, the leader of the free world. But yet still, we have a president that did everything he could do to oppress his own country, to take away the people's voice. And down in Georgia is the explicit, you can't get much clearer. And maybe that's why Georgia, even though it is a state case, will be the one that Donald Trump can't walk away from, because being the former president does not protect him. Being the future president does not protect him in a state case. He is just another person in a state court. Much like on the federal level, Judge Tanya Chutkan is trying to treat Trump in federal court with the D.C. indictment for the January 6th activity and the fake electors activity. She does not refer to Donald Trump as President Trump. She doesn't want to feed into, she doesn't want to give him the slightest reason for his lawyers to bring in the fake elector, I was robbed. She doesn't want to make the trial all about Trump's belief that the election was stolen from him, even though it's been debunked and disproven by his own people. There's no way that Donald Trump didn't know that he lost that election, especially when Fox News came out and said that Arizona would probably go to Biden. That was perhaps the final nail in the coffin. Trump has done illegal things. Trump has done outrageous things. And now it's time for the country to be what it's supposed to be, a country. It's time for the judicial system to be what it's supposed to be, a judicial system applied to all people. Now, the expectation of the Trump trial going like it would go in the case of anyone else, don't fool yourself. The fact that we're even having a trial is remarkable, especially some people thought it would never get this far. But you have to look at it for what it is. It's an indication that perhaps, despite everything that we want to say, despite everything that we try to believe to make our day better, or to make our day reasonable, or to give us reason to either quit or go on, the justice system is working. It's not working speedily. It's not working it's not making either side happy, because for Trump to be happy, he has to be scot-free, able to go on and do the dumb shit that he's done, to repeat the dumb shit that he's done, to drive this country closer to anarchy, and to make it more acceptable for him to be the leader for life. He doesn't give a damn about democracy. He doesn't even really give a damn about the flag. All he does is give a damn about where his fat ass will sit until the day he dies, whether he will sit in the White House in relative luxury, with power, with people, coming to him, bowing and scraping and saying, "Sir," or "Mr. President," and doing every evil thing he can think of, and instituting the policies that he wants to use to go against the people that he doesn't like, whether they're political rivals or whether they are just cultural rivals, or whether they're just people he just doesn't like them for whatever reason. And with Donald Trump, you just don't need a whole lot of reason. You just have to be in Donald Trump's mind. And unfortunately, because Donald Trump is not that intelligent, there's a whole lot of mind to occupy, because there's nothing else there to compete with. As far as what we're going to do, well, on this weekend, it's kind of, it's wait and see, because you got the controversy, you got the contrast between the D.C. case and the Florida case. And I think everybody is waiting to see what Jack Smith's next move will be, not against Trump, but against Judge Eileen Cannon, because she's already proving that she doesn't have the experience, she doesn't have the legal background to be trying a trial of this magnitude. And that's a danger within itself, because even if, with all of her interference, even with it being in Florida, drawing of Florida jewelry, Jack Smith is a great prosecutor, a great lawyer. He still has the evidence, and if he presents it correctly, that jury will still stand the chance of proving Trump guilty, even in southern Florida. It's happened before. Look at all the Trump appointed lawyers that threw his election denial cases out of court, just on the premise of, you don't have any standing, it's bogus, get the hell out of here, stop wasting our time. But the danger with this is, why should we be in the position that we have to? Why can't we try Trump just like anybody else? The reason is and it's not, it's just something, it's just the way it is. It's just that we do have a two-tiered justice system. But if you leave Cannon in there, even if the desirable, I'm saying for the people, not for the MAGA heads, for the people, if the desirable outcome happens, Trump's lawyers can still appeal and say, look, Cannon was a nut. She gave us this, but that was the wrong legal thing to do. She did this, this, and this, and this. So the whole trial was a farce. Let our guy go. And Trump walks, and you know that he's not going to say that, they let me go, even though, he's not going to say he was guilty. He's going to say he was right, and he's going to swear out that he was let go because he wasn't guilty. Just like he claimed that the Mueller investigation cleared him of any wrongdoing, that when the Senate didn't oust him after 2 congressional impeachments, that he was completely guilty. No, you weren't completely guilty. In fact, you were, completely innocent. You were found guilty. It's just that the system did not follow through. And that's where America is today. We still have the capability of seeing right from wrong, but we are losing our capability to deal with the implications of right and wrong realistically. It's becoming more and more about not integrity, not morals, not scruples, not right and wrong, but it's becoming more about agendas and ideals and who gets to run the roost. And all of those things do not bode well for the continuance for the life expectancy of democracy. Well, that's it for me. Y'all can think about it, get back to me. Look, if you like my channel, please subscribe. Please subscribe. I need that. It gives me a boost, not only mentally, morally, but sometimes even, financially, a little ad money. If you want to, help me continue, donate, you can always use the thanks, the super thanks thing, and, give me a couple dollars, slide that bar grab. I'm trying to expand, but I do need your help. I'm just an individual. I'm not rich. Basically, I'm poor. But I need your help. But I'm going to continue whether you donate or not, as long as I can, to put material out there that, one, can make a difference, and two, that will be useful by you, not just rhetoric and claptrap, but information that you can use to make up your mind. And I don't really even care that you make up your mind opposite from the beliefs that I have. I just care that you make up your mind so that we can stop being a society of lemmings, the bagpipe theory. So until next time, peace out, and as always, God bless, no matter who your God is. See you when I see you.